In this video, I will explain the priority scheduling algorithm, one of the CPU scheduling techniques used in operating systems. Priority scheduling can be preemptive or non-preemptive, depending on the system design. This algorithm selects the process based on its priority value, where the process with the highest priority gets the CPU first. In priority scheduling, each process is assigned with priority number. The CPU always chooses the process with the highest priority. In most systems, a lower number means higher priority, but this depends on the implementation. How priority scheduling works. First, all processes are placed in the ready queue. Next, the CPU checks the priority of each process in the queue. Then the process with the highest priority is selected for execution. Because this is a non-preemptive, once a process starts running, it continues until completion, even if a higher priority process arrives later. In contrast, in preemptive priority scheduling, a running process can be interrupted if a higher priority process enters the system. Key terms. Before we continue, let's review some important terms. Arrival time is when the process enters the system. Burst time is the amount of CPU time needed by the process. Priorities show how important the process is. Waiting time is how long the process stays in the ready queue before execution. Turnaround time is the total time from arrival until the process finishes. Let's look at the example process table. We have three processes, P1, P2, and P3. P1 arrives at time 0 with a burst time of 5 and priority 2. P2 arrives at time 1 with a burst time of 3 and priority 1. P3 arrives at time 2 with a burst time of 4 and priority 3. Remember, lower number means higher priority, and this is non-preemptive. At time 0, only P1 has arrived, so it starts executing immediately. At time 1, P2 arrived and it has a higher priority than P1. However, since this is non-preemptive, P1 continues running until it finishes. P1 completes execution at time 5. Now both P2 and P3 are in the ready queue. P2 has a higher priority than P3, so P2 runs next, from time 5 to time 8. After P2 finishes, P3 runs last from time 8 to time 12. This execution order can be shown using a Gantt chart. P1 runs from 0 to 5, P2 runs from 5 to 8, and P3 runs from 8 to 12. Now let's compute the waiting time for each process. P1 waited 0 minus 0, which is 0. P2 waited from time 1 to time 5, so 5 minus 1 equals 4. P3 waited from time 2 to time 8, so 8 minus 2 equals 6. Next is the turnaround time. P1 turnaround time is 5 minus 0, which equals 5. For P2 is 8 minus 1, which is equals 7. For P3, it is 12 minus 2, which is equal 10. If we compute the average waiting time, we add all waiting times and divide by the number of processes. 0 plus 4 plus 6 divided by 3 gives an average waiting time of 3.33 units. Advantages. Priority scheduling is simple to understand and implement. Important tasks are executed first. It is commonly used in real-time systems where task urgency matters. Disadvantages. One major drawback is starvation, where low priority processes may never run. Priority values can also be unfair if not assigned properly. To solve starvation, aging can be used to gradually increase a process priority. Priority scheduling is best used in real-time operating system. It is also suitable in systems where task importance is more critical than fairness.